Everyone, I'm excited about bringing on my next guest who had wanted to come on today for a reason. I have with me Dr. Joseph Blake. He is the author of several books, but we're going to be talking about that. But today was a special day, and I wanted you to tell everybody, first of all, a little bit about yourself, but why you wanted to come on today.
I wanted to come on today because today is my youngest son's birthday.
Happy birthday, youngest son.
His name is Trayvon Blake, of course, but Trayvon turned 35 today, and that's my baby boy. He's not really a baby anymore, being 35. But I remember the day he was born like it was yesterday. We were going to the hospital just for a checkup, and we were going to go bowling afterwards. And we went to and that's in England, and that base was like an hour away from where we actually lived. So we got there, we were going to go bowling. The doctor went and do his check, and it was like, okay, we can go bowling. They said, no, the baby's coming. I was like,
oh no.
What? The baby's coming?
Oh my gosh. How fun though? How fun?
Yeah, so I had to call a friend, the G-Man, his name was Grant, the G-Man, had to come all the way to the base and get my oldest son and hold on to him while we was going to having Trey, and I always think about that. So
happy birthday, Trey, and
yeah.
There's always a memory with that.
Yeah,
and I just have to say, as parents, I don't care how old we are, we can be 100, and our children could be 80, whatever. They're still our babies. You know, they still are. Now, Dr. Blake, you are a 3-time best-selling author, and you teach financial literacy.
Yes.
And I want people to listen up because a lot of people need that.
Yes. I teach financial literacy. I've been a licensed investment advisor for 30 years, and 30 years went by like that. I still feel like I'm 30. But it was over that time that I was also a member of a church, and I'm still working with my pastor, that God placed in my spirit to make sure I share with believers, and then if the believers didn't receive it, to share with everyone the importance of being financially sound, financially literate in those things to take care of their family, not only for the day, but also for the future. And the best means of doing that is understanding it through the Word. One of my claims to fame is I've read the Bible front to back 9 different times, and I did that not because someone told me to, but I wanted to know what the Word said to me. And as I read the Bible, I read it with my business knowledge because I have a PhD. And as I read it, I seen the things that God was saying financially. And as I was reading, I realized there was this guy in there. His name was Joseph. My name just happens to be Joseph. And it was reading his words and what he had to share that really captivated me to understand the Bible from a financial standpoint.
Well, let me tell you, you have several books, okay? Right now, the one that we've always talked about, which is Joseph, Building Financial Literacy, but there's a new one that's just come out,
yes,
the next edition, and you have sort of built this as a program for people.
Yes, I have. There's actually going to be 3 books. This is my trilogy, but the first one came out was Financial Literacy. And financial literacy is being able to gain access to economic information and then make use of those concepts. That's literacy. The second one is Financial Legacy. So financial literacy lasts a lifetime. Financial legacy lasts for generations. So that's the 2 stages. The third one, that's going to be a couple of years from now. But the first one, financial literacy, that's the gold edition. Gold, when we look at that, they actually all 3 are what's called the precious materials, because all 3 are based on things that we adorn ourselves with, because that's one thing that we as people, we do. We like jewelry and things like that. God kind of gave this to me, but it's jewelry. But so the first one is the gold edition, and that's gold symbolizes virtue, purity, and things like that. So literacy is that's what that was for, and that lasts for a lifetime. Then the second one is Sapphire edition. So the legacy one deals with sapphire. Sapphire, again, it comes from the ground. So does gold. And gold, when you look at how it replenishes itself, gold actually does replenish itself through the earth. How long does it take gold to replenish itself?
I don't know.
100 million years.
Wow. I can't wait that long.
Right, you can't. But through you understand the principle and things that I have within my book, we replenish ourselves. They last for a lifetime. Then as you share it with your family and everything, that lasts for those generations.
And we're going to do this, and I hope it's okay, but I'm going to do it anyway. We're going to open up the lines of the audience for everyone to get entered in to win. Okay. What should we do? Should we do both books, or how do you want to do it?
You know, if they call today, if they're calling, both books.
We'll do that way, so that way you can get the two of them. We got the next one, so will be in a couple of years. That'll be the trilogy. But right now, these two, and this second book just came out recently. On the, what'd you say, the 13th of?
13th of March.
Of March. So it's congratulations on it.
Mm-hmm.
This is really exciting. And our number here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. You can go on Amazon. You can also go to his website, which is actionablefinancialliteracy.com. You have this you can see on Facebook here. What is it?
Okay. Along with the books now, I have a companion app. So the app is available on the Apple website and is also available on Google Play. So the app and the books, they work together. So in the app, you actually have an opportunity. I have my website, of course my website, but I have a companion app where you can go there, and that has the podcast, my weekly podcast. I'm going to be having those on a weekly basis. You can plug into that. I'll also have two forms of web classes. You have the financial legacy class you can take part of, and then there's a financial literacy class. Those are 5-week classes, and each class is roughly an hour long. But those are premium classes. You'll get detailed information, how I did the research for each class, how I got the information. There'll be additional resources that I use to gain the foundation of the information that's in there. Dr.
Blake is a PhD.
Yes, and I read a lot. I read a lot. Just to do the research, I read over 300 different books and articles about finance, about financial literacy, and different Bible scriptures. As a matter of fact, in the book, I won't tell you what's in it, but I'll tell you what I read about it. In the book, it talks about cycles, and it talks about the Bible cycles. There's books in the book of Genesis. It talks about the cycles of Joseph, the dreamer, that wrote about cycles. But also there's some cycles that Abraham gave us as well, and there's some cycles there. Those cycles point to a 6 to 7 year cycle, and it's 2 or 3 different times that it's quoted in the Bible. And those same 6 to 7 year cycle happen today.
Well, let me just tell you something. Being financially literate is important. It's not just important to teach our young folks. It's important for us individuals, because we've all gotten into our own situation on our own, right?
Yes.
And so it's important that you understand. And what he's done is he's not only giving you books, he's giving you an app. He's got his podcast. He is really just raining you with love about financial literacy. Now, you can go to Amazon. You can also go onto his website and check him out, which is actionable, which we're going to talk about that after the break, actionablefinancialliteracy.com. But you can call in here. You're getting both of the books today. If you call in to me, our number here is 602-277-5369, and toll free it's 1-866-536-1100. Let me just tell you something, folks. We all need to learn financial literacy. We're all in this living together at this time in our lives. Right now it's a hard time, and if we were all financial literate, we wouldn't be as nervous as we are today. Again, call me here. You're getting both books, 602-277-5369. Hang tight. We're going to be back in just a minute. Keep on going.
Okay.
Because we're live in the room, okay?
Yeah.
This here, I don't know how they're going to do it, so most people are going to have to go from the Facebook, so we're going to share that, but I will need you to send me like a liner to put into, so I wouldn't know what to say, so you'll have to help me what to say on that.
It's on it's Apple and Google.
Just help me as to what to say, the whole
Okay.
thing, because I'll put it on the Facebook for you, and then I'll share
As a
it.
matter of fact, you put your phone up there right now and just scan it.
Okay.
It'll pull it up.
Okay, great. And so, for you, okay, the second book, right?
Yeah, I wanted to say, I want to talk about it, and I'll tell them what's in it.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, so tell them.
Okay.
So as I mentioned, what's in there, the different chapters that's in there. There's chapter 1. Each chapter has something different with it. In the first, when the introduction, there's a barcode, there's a scan. Each chapter has a scanner at the end. So after the first the preface,
Wow.
you scan the code, and there's a special message there. This scan code tells them about the precious metal sequence. It tells them why. It's 30 minutes, but
That's
it tells them
pretty
about
cool.
And after each chapter, it summarizes what they just read.
Okay.
So
Wow.
while they read it, what
I
it
can't
means.
wait to talk about that.
Yeah, so what it means and everything. So it kind of it's
Who
sort of
thought of
summarized.
that? That was cool.
Yeah. So why they so then they get to see me and then they hear me about what they just read, why they read it, and what it means.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it does lead them to the app too, and so each section is that way, and I have more different graphics, and it's a little thinner than the
Yes,
first
I was going
volume.
to say, is the next one going to be thinner?
Yeah. No, I don't know. I don't know, because that one's Legend, and it's my last one. Part of it because I didn't.
Because you're getting more literate.
Yeah, you get more literate, but I didn't use what's called an annotated bibliography, so that made it a little better.
Okay.
I
don't even know
left
what
the
that
doctoral
is.
thing out of
Okay.
it.
Okay. Okay, hold on. I think that's very cool.
And then my graphics have changed. That's not the charts like I had before.
Just a little bit. I'm going to do something. I'm going to read that.
Okay. I'm really helping my pastor a lot this time. I'm really helping my pastor a lot. Do I need to put this thing on?
Yeah, I know you didn't. Normally you do. So welcome back, everyone. I want to read, Dr. Blake has a little thing here that I'm going to read. Dr. Blake is a best-selling author of Joseph, Building Financial Literacy, and Joseph, Building Financial Legacy, and a 3-time best-selling contributing international author with the Art of Connection book series. Currently an investment advisor representative with over 30 years of experience, retired as a federal financial specialist, and a 3-time medal awardee of the U.S. Air Force. Thank you for your service as well. You host a podcast. It's called the On Point Podcast. It's on Saturdays from 11 a.m. Arizona time. And he features aspiring entrepreneurs, innovators, local authors, small business owners, activists, and influencers in the Goodyear studio, and that's where that's done. You have your books here, and I want to talk about the points that you want to talk about too. And get it out. You want me to do this?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
So signature points in these books, and we've got our lines open here for everyone. The way that he's done this, and you're going to hear about how he's really brought it all together for everybody in a very cool way, especially if you're into all of these fandango things here, is pretty interesting. And we've got our lines open here for everyone to get entered in to win two of the books. So both of the books, as a matter of fact, Joseph, Building Financial Literacy, and then Joseph, Building Financial Legacy. And our number here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. And just keep on calling throughout the rest of the show. These books, the signature topics are general wealth transfer.
Yeah, generational wealth transfer.
Oh, I'm sorry, I said it wrong. Go ahead.
So that's from one generation to the next. In some communities, I know, like African American communities, for the longest we leave not really wealth, but debt. And so just put it within our minds that we want to leave something for one generation to the next. Like my mother, when she left me and my sister something. And that's when I found out, when I became a broker, I talked to my mama about stuff. And my mother listened. You know, my mom, she never made over $30,000 a year, but she left me and my sister with something.
But you know, you have to tell them about your background and where you come from, where she's from.
I'm from the inner city of Baltimore, and it's not like I've seen a lot of stuff in Baltimore City. I've seen it wasn't real great, you know, but I came out of that. My mom didn't finish high school, but I did, and every time I graduated from junior high, high school, my bachelor's and my master's, I took my cap off of my head and I put it on my mother's head, because I graduated, she graduated, and a year before I got my PhD, my mom went to heaven, you know. But I was gonna have my mom walk on stage for me.
And your kids?
And yep, and all four of my adult children all have master's degrees, and my wife has a degree in psychology, because she knows I was off a little bit, right? But all four of my adult children have master's degrees as well. I believe in education, and they're all chasing me because they want to be the old man.
I want you to talk a little bit about quickly some of these other things, because there's really cool that you've done in the second book.
Okay.
After every chapter, but there's digital assets and legacy, impact investing as a legacy, educational trust and scholarships, financial literacy and legacy, the rise of DIY estate planning, that's pretty cool,
Mm-hmm.
And then a sustainable and ethical investing for future generations, and much more. But I want you to really get out, because I know these things, they go by so fast. I want you to tell them what you've done, but for the new book, how each chapter was what's there at the end of them.
All right. So beginning with the preface, in the very beginning of the preface, at the end of the preface, there's a QR code. You take the QR code and you scan it, and it gives you, it takes you to a video, and that video explains the precious metal trilogy. And it tells you about the gold edition, it tells you about the sapphire, and sapphire is wisdom. That's what that sapphire is, wisdom. And then it tells you about the emerald edition that's going to be coming. And that's after the preface. And then at the end of each chapter, there's also a QR code that you scan that will take you to a video that summarizes each chapter, the main points behind each chapter, and what you read, and gives you more of an idea from what was written and what you read, and just give you more background what came about from me reading it and then writing it and then sharing it with you.
And you say that basically they see you.
They see me
and they hear you.
me,
That's kind of neat.
And it just brings it all together, because it's one thing to read a book, but then when you can see the author and feel the author, then you
I don't know
understand.
anybody that's ever done anything like that. I think it's very cool. I'm sure there is, but I got to say, I personally didn't know of that, and I think that's so neat, because not only can you're reading it and you're getting something out of it, but now you just scan the QR code and now you've got him talking to you and learning even more about it. Not only just about what you've learned, it summarizes that, but also it teaches you kind of like what the precious metals really, really mean, and of course, how to do it.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
Yeah, because and even this book, the legacy book, is a little thinner than the literacy book. I kind of took the doctoral thing out a little bit. Sometimes I can get kind of off with the PhD level, but I made it a little thinner, and then the graphics are changed some as well. If you get the hard copy, it really gives the color out of it, but it really shows more down to earth way of understanding things.
And understanding things are like what? Let's talk a little bit about that part, because you're very clear that people need to start really thinking about how they are with their money. That's what financial literacy is. Go ahead.
Right. And what makes it, the concept is actionable financial literacy. That's like the website.
And the word actionable is very important because?
Because actionable means you're you're taking action with it, and it actually comes from Chris Argyros, who's the father of organizational learning. It becomes actionable when you take that knowledge that you learn and use it outside of where you learned it at. So like you're sitting here talking about it on the radio, but you take what you learn and then you share it with someone else. Could be your family member, could be a friend, your neighbor, and say, hey, I heard this on the radio, we need to get this book so we can take and share it with others. That becomes an action that you take. So when you take learning and make it actionable, that's when it can become a legacy, and you share with others, because it's going to take on its own legs and just run. But you can't just take the information and to keep it to yourself and do nothing with it.
Well, it starts with taking action by calling here and getting the books. We're going to give you both of them. These are the 2-book series of a trilogy that he's been working on, and it's really exciting. The number to call here is 602-277-5369, and toll free it's 1-866-536-1100. You can get the book on Amazon. You can also get it on his website, which is actionablefinancialliteracy.com. Call in here. You're getting the books. It's the both of them from me for free. So and that's a great way to start. Using your literacy, brain, your financial literacy brain. Our number here is 602-277-5369.
Yeah, I'm only doing that for you, and only for the radio broadcast.
Of course. But here's the thing. That's what you like. You've been coming on the show now for quite some time about getting this word out and helping people understanding where it's really starting from, right?
Yeah.
And how to make, not just to learn how to be able to have money left over at the end of the month, right? It's leaving the legacy. Literacy is one thing, legacy another thing, and what was the other one? The third one is going to be?
The third one would be legend.
Legend. It's leaving a legend. I mean, and being able to leave something for your children. This is something that there's a lot of people I know that just can't do it.
Yeah, I'll give you a sneak peek about legend. You say the name and you know their story.
I love that.
You say their name and you know their story.
It's very true. What name would you say?
Legend there's different ones, but I'll say Martin Luther King.
Okay.
You know his name, you know his story.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Jordan. You know his name,
right.
You know his story.
Absolutely. There's a lot of people. You know what, though, I have to say, and I have to say this, I'm sure that you agree that you've met a lot of people. There's a big people that you're talking about, big famous people.
Right.
There's a lot of people that are not famous. They work several jobs.
Right.
And they are making it every single day. They come home and they're like, oh my God, I made it through the day.
Yeah.
And I was able to pay this bill or what have you, right? Mm-hmm. What you're doing is helping people lift them from there, right? Because it's awesome that you're doing that, because they have their stories too, right? And then you're taking them to learn how to get forward, how to get so that you're breathing easier. Is that correct?
Yeah. And now for my family, for me, is Loretta Blake.
Your mommy.
Yep.
Yeah. I could say I would say that for my dad too. My mom didn't work, but my dad did. He was the one that was wearing the pants. But I look at it every day and say, how did you do it? How did you do it all? And it was hard then too, but he made it, and he made it look easy. Go ahead.
Now, 2 things though. The literacy book, that's dedicated to my mother. The legacy book is dedicated to my dad.
And there's a reason why?
Yeah. The Bible says that if you honor your mother and your father, that'll go well for you in life.
You heard it from Dr. Blake right there.
My dad, he was my war hero. He was in Vietnam, and he was able to come back. Some of the other friends of his did not come back. But that's why I look at my dad. He's my war hero. You
could check Dr. Blake out either on his website, which is actionablefinancialliteracy.com. Go and you can take a picture of so you can get the app, and then of course call in here, get entered in to win. You're getting both of the books. 602-277-5369. I had to cut that out a little bit, so we were running a little bit late. That's okay.
At least I got it out there.
Let me just finish this. Hold on.